Welcome to another episode of Deep Dive into Real Estate by Team Luddy Dillon. This is the place where we simplify real estate for you, one topic at a time. Enjoy.
All right, so you're thinking about buying a house.
Exciting times.
It is exciting,
Yeah.
but it can also be super overwhelming, especially if you're, a first-time buyer.
For sure.
But that's why we're here, to
Absolutely.
break it all down.
Yeah.
Give you the knowledge to, go forth and conquer.
Yeah. We're going to give you some insider tips
Yeah.
because, we're part of Laddie Dillon's real estate team.
Yeah.
We specialize in the Peel region.
Mhm.
So Brampton, Caledon, Mississauga, we know this market inside and out.
And Laddie's been helping people in the Peel region since 2007.
That's right.
Yeah, he's seen it all.
So you're in good hands.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's dive into it. What are some of the things that people should know about making an offer?
Well, what's funny is that most people think making an offer is just about the price tag.
Right?
But there's so much more to it than that.
Okay, so it's like strategy.
A little bit. Yeah. Okay, I like it.
A little bit of strategy.
All right, so where do we even begin?
Well, I think before we even think about making an offer, we need to have a really good foundation.
Okay.
So if you were building a house, you wouldn't start with the roof.
Right.
You'd want to have a really strong base.
So, what is the base of a good offer?
Well, it all starts with a realistic purchase budget.
Okay.
And I'm not just talking about the mortgage payment. I'm talking about, all of the costs that come with owning a home.
Okay, so the unexpected things that kind of pop up.
Exactly. Yeah, like those hidden costs that can really kind of sneak up on you.
Yeah, like property taxes.
Property taxes, insurance, utility costs, and then, maybe you want to do some renovations.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to make sure you're not house poor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, so how do we avoid that?
Well, you're going to want to grab your trusty spreadsheet or, whatever you use to kind of calculate.
Your notes app?
Yeah, exactly. Your notes app.
Yeah.
And we're going to list out all of your income for the year.
Okay.
Add to that any savings that you have. And then we're going to subtract your down payment and deposit and closing costs.
Got it.
And, don't forget about those pesky taxes if you're cashing out investments to boost your down payment.
Oh, yeah. Taxes always got to remember.
That's right.
Okay.
So now we've got all of this information down on our spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Now what we want to do is we want to play with different offer amounts and see how those affect your monthly mortgage payments.
Okay.
So let's say you're pre-approved for an $800,000 mortgage.
Okay.
We're going to plug in some amounts in there. So maybe you're thinking of offering between $650,000 and $750,000.
Yeah.
And just see how those monthly payments fit into your overall budget.
This is where it gets real.
Exactly.
Because it's okay, you might be pre-approved for this, but can you actually live?
Can you actually enjoy your life after you move in?
Right, exactly.
That's right. So, we want to make sure that you can still treat yourself to that fancy coffee.
Yeah, and go on vacation.
Yeah, and go on vacation.
Exactly.
Yeah, without having to stress about your mortgage payment.
So we want you to enjoy your house.
Exactly. So this budget exercise will help you find that sweet spot.
Yeah. Okay, budget sorted.
Okay.
Now we can finally go house hunting, right?
Hold your horses.
Okay.
Before you go and fall head over heels for that charming bungalow.
Okay.
Remember, there's more to a house than meets the eye.
Okay.
So multiple walkthroughs are key.
Okay, so you're saying don't just fall in love with the kitchen backsplash.
Exactly. You need to experience the house at different times of the day.
Oh, okay.
So that quiet, peaceful street in the morning could transform into a highway of honking cars during rush hour.
That's a good point.
Right.
And what about at night?
Yes.
You want to see what the neighborhood's like at night.
Absolutely.
Is it well lit? Are there weird noises?
Yeah, exactly. Does it feel safe?
Yeah, you don't want to feel like you're in a horror movie.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
And while you're at it, why not strike up a conversation with the neighbors?
Ooh.
They're a wealth of information about the area. So you could ask them, casually, hey, how often does the garbage get picked up? Or is the neighborhood generally quiet at night?
Yeah, you don't want to find out after you move in that your neighbor has a rooster.
Exactly.
That's up at the crack of dawn.
Or maybe they have band practice every night.
Oh, yeah, that would be bad.
At midnight.
Okay, so we've done our budget. We've done our walkthroughs. We are real estate detectives at this point.
Yes, you are.
What is next?
Now it's time to talk about your secret weapon that can make your offer shine, and that's mortgage pre-approval.
Ooh, secret weapon. I like it.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So think of pre-approval as, having your financial ducks in a row.
Okay.
It's not just about knowing how much you can borrow. It's actually about locking in a specific interest rate for a set amount of time. So that's usually up to 120 days.
Oh, so that's really good for, like, if interest rates go up.
Yeah, it gives you peace of mind.
You're protected.
You're protected, yeah.
That's amazing. It's like a financial force field.
Exactly.
That's great.
And it also makes you a more attractive buyer to sellers.
Oh, okay, so they take you more seriously.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But what happens if interest rates go down during that time?
Well, many lenders will actually honor a lower rate if it drops before you finalize your mortgage.
So you're still good.
You're still good, so you get the best of both worlds.
That's awesome.
Protection from those rate increases, but also a chance to snag a lower rate if the market shifts in your favor.
I like it, right? Pre-approval check.
Okay.
So how do we determine the magic number? Like, how do we figure out what we should offer on a house?
Well, it's not as simple as just throwing a dart at a board.
Oh, I don't know.
I know.
Okay.
Determining the offer amount is an art, not a science, and there are several factors at play.
Right, because, like, if it's a seller's market and you go in too low, it's just an insult.
That's a pretty good analogy.
Okay.
So we need to understand what are the market dynamics.
Okay.
And that's where your real estate agent comes in. You know, somebody like Laddie.
With all that experience.
With all the experience, that's right.
Okay, so how does an agent like Laddie, how do they work their magic?
Well, they use something called a comparative market analysis, or a CMA.
Okay.
And it involves comparing the property that you're interested in with similar homes in the area that have recently sold or are currently for sale or were even listed but didn't sell.
So it's like getting into the DNA of the neighborhood.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
helps to gauge the fair market value of the house that you're looking at,
Okay.
taking into account things like location, size, condition, and any of those unique features that make it stand out.
All right, so we take the market value, we factor in our budget and our strategy, and then boom, we've got our number.
Well, not quite yet.
Right.
We still need to talk about the deposit and the down payment.
All right, break it down for me.
So these often get confused,
Yeah, I feel like they do.
but they're two distinct players in this game.
Okay.
So think of the deposit as your good faith money.
Okay.
It's a smaller amount that you put down to show the seller that you're serious about buying the house. And if you back out of the deal, you usually forfeit that deposit.
Okay.
The down payment, on the other hand, is the larger chunk of money that you pay up front when you buy the house,
All right.
a percentage of the total purchase price.
And what are we looking at percentage-wise in Canada these days?
So it depends on the purchase price.
Okay.
So for homes under $500,000, the minimum down payment is 5%.
Okay.
For homes between $500,000 and $999,999, it's 5% on the first $500,000 and 10% on the remaining amount.
Okay.
And for anything over $1 million, you're looking at a 20% down payment.
So the more expensive the house, the more money you've got to have.
That's right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what happens if you can't swing that 20%?
Well, if you put down less than 20%, you'll likely need mortgage loan insurance.
Okay.
It's essentially an insurance policy for the lender in case you default on your mortgage payments.
Right.
So it allows buyers to enter the market sooner.
Okay.
But it does come with an added cost.
So it's a trade-off.
It is a trade-off, yeah.
You get in sooner, but you might have to pay a little bit more. That's right.
Okay.
So we've got our pre-approval, we've crunched the numbers for our offer price, and we've figured out our deposit and down payment situation.
Yes,
Are we ready to make the official offer?
almost.
Okay.
We've got to talk about firm versus conditional offer.
Yes. One more decision.
Yes, this is a big one.
It is a big one.
Okay, so tell me the difference.
Okay, so a firm offer is basically saying, I want this house, no strings attached.
Okay, bold.
It's a bold move,
Yeah.
especially in a hot market, but it also carries more risk.
Right, because what if something comes up?
Exactly. So if something unexpected pops up, like let's say a major issue during the home inspection, you're still committed to buying the house.
That's scary.
It can be scary.
Okay.
A conditional offer, on the other hand, gives you a little bit of wiggle room.
Okay.
So you can include contingencies like financing approval, a satisfactory home inspection, or even the sale of your existing property.
So it's kind of like you're saying, I like you, but let's just see how things go.
Exactly. It's like the dating phase before you get married.
Yeah, I like it. It gives you more buyer protection, but it might make your offer less appealing to a seller.
Right. Especially if they have like multiple offers
Exactly.
and they're like, no.
Yeah.
So how do you decide which one's right for you?
You want to weigh the risks and benefits of each approach very carefully.
Okay.
And that's where having an experienced agent, you know, somebody like Laddie on your side is invaluable.
Right, because they've seen it all.
They've seen it all.
They know how to navigate it.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about those conditions.
Okay.
Like, what are some of the ones that people put in?
So one of the most common conditions is financing.
Okay.
So this gives you time to finalize your mortgage approval after your offer is accepted.
Okay.
And typically you have, a few days to get that lender's thumbs up, which usually involves a home appraisal.
Right, to make sure that the house is worth what you're offering.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's right.
And then what about the home inspection one?
The home inspection condition.
Yeah, that one seems like a big one.
Yeah, you don't want to buy a house only to find out later that it's, a termite condo.
Exactly, or that the roof is about to cave in.
Exactly.
Okay, so what does a home inspector look at?
So they're going to examine the roof, the foundation, the plumbing, the electrical systems, heating, ventilation, basically anything that's visible and accessible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if they find some stuff?
That's where the home inspection condition comes in.
Okay.
So you can negotiate with the seller to either make the necessary repairs,
Okay.
request a price reduction to cover the cost of those repairs, or if the issues are too severe, you can walk away from the deal altogether.
So that's like your get-out-of-jail-free card.
It is your get-out-of-jail-free card.
I like it.
It gives you that power to renegotiate or back out if the inspection reveals something that's really a deal breaker.
Okay, and then what about the sale of property condition?
So this one is typically used when the buyer needs to sell their existing home
Okay.
before they can purchase the new one. So it essentially says, hey, I'm ready to buy your house, but I need to sell mine first to free up the funds.
Okay.
So it can be a little bit tricky because it adds another layer of uncertainty for the seller.
Right.
Because if your house doesn't sell within, a specific time frame, the deal could fall through.
Yeah, that makes things a lot more stressful.
It does.
Okay, so we've covered the different types of offers. We've covered the conditions.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Well, now that you have a really good understanding of the groundwork, it's time to actually talk about the presentation of the offer.
Ooh.
And let me tell you, this is where things can get really interesting.
Okay. I'm ready. Give me the insider tips.
Okay, so first and foremost, your offer is a legal document.
Right.
So before you sign anything, make sure you read and you fully understand every single detail.
Oh, yeah, good advice.
If there's anything that you're unsure about, don't hesitate to ask your real estate agent.
Right.
Or even consult with a lawyer.
Okay.
Okay, timing can be really crucial as well, especially in a fast-paced market like the Peel region. Right.
In a hot market, you might need to act fast
Yeah.
to avoid missing out. So your agent will advise you on the best time to submit that offer,
Okay.
taking into consideration things like competing offers and the seller's preferred timeline.
So there's a lot of strategy involved.
A lot of strategy and timing.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is just the beginning. Negotiation is a key part of this process.
Right.
And your agent will be your advocate, helping you to craft a really compelling offer
Okay.
and navigate any counteroffers from the seller.
So it's like a game of chess.
It can be, yeah.
Okay.
So what are some tactics that people should be aware of?
Yeah.
Well, we can include a personal letter to the seller
Ooh.
expressing your genuine interest in the property.
Okay, so like a love letter to a house.
A love letter to a house.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah,
It makes it more personal.
exactly. It adds that human touch,
Mm.
and it can help your offer to stand out.
Okay, and what about inclusions and exclusions?
Yes, those are important details.
Remind me what those are again. So inclusions are items that are included in the sale of the property, like appliances, light fixtures, or window coverings.
Got it.
And exclusions are items that the seller wants to keep and will remove before you take possession.
Okay.
So if you're obsessed with that vintage chandelier in the dining room, you better make sure it's listed as an inclusion.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, sometimes being willing to compromise on certain inclusions or exclusions can make your offer more appealing to the seller.
Okay.
So, for example, if they're planning to take their beloved washer and dryer with them,
Yeah.
offering to purchase new ones for them might just sweeten the deal.
It's about finding those little compromises.
Exactly.
Okay, I feel like we've learned so much already,
I know, we've covered a lot of ground.
but I know there's more.
There's more to come.
Okay.
So we've laid the foundation, but when we come back, we're going to be diving into the closing date, those sneaky closing costs, and we'll even touch upon some strategies that are specific to navigating the Peel region market.
Ooh, okay, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It's like a real estate thriller.
It is.
I'm excited.
Stay tuned.
And remember, folks, if you're thinking about buying or selling in the Peel region, Laddie Tillin and his team are here to help.
Absolutely. They're the experts in this market, and they can guide you through every step of the way.
Exactly. So if you're ready to make your move in the Peel region, give Laddie a call at 905-598-0725.
He's a wealth of knowledge.
We'll be back soon with part 2. But in the meantime, happy house hunting.
Happy house hunting. So before we got a little sidetracked, we were talking about, inclusions and exclusions
Right.
and how to make your offer really stand out. But, even the most amazing offer won't really get you far if you don't nail down one other really crucial detail.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's the closing date,
Oh.
the day you officially become the owner of that new address.
Okay.
Now, it might seem pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
but trust me, there's a lot more to it than just picking a random day on the calendar.
So you're saying I can't just say like, hey, let's do it next Tuesday.
Not quite, no.
Okay.
So we need to think about a few things here, like moving schedules, existing leases, and even when the lawyers can finalize all that paperwork.
Oh, right. Yeah, the lawyer.
Always got to think about the lawyers.
Yeah, okay, so it's like a bit of a dance trying to make everyone happy.
Exactly. It's a juggling act.
Okay.
And your real estate agent, they can be a real lifesaver here,
Right.
helping to facilitate those conversations and find a compromise
Okay.
that works for both parties.
Compromise is key.
It is, absolutely.
All right, so speaking of transitions, let's talk about closing costs.
Okay.
What are we talking about here?
So closing costs are those additional expenses
Okay.
that pop up when you finalize the purchase of a house.
Right.
They're often overlooked, but they can really add up if you're not prepared.
Okay. Yeah, nobody likes surprises like that.
Exactly. No surprises.
Okay, so give me the breakdown.
Okay. So you've got things like legal fees for your lawyer to review all the documents.
Right.
You've got land transfer taxes, which vary depending on the province and the municipality.
Okay.
And then you might also have appraisal fees
Okay.
if the lender requires, an independent valuation of the property.
And home inspection fees.
Yes, don't forget about those home inspection fees.
Yeah, especially if they find some interesting things.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do we estimate these closing costs?
Well, there's no magic formula. I know.
Okay.
But a good rule of thumb is to budget around 1.5% to 4%
Okay.
of the purchase price for those closing costs.
Right.
But your real estate agent can provide you with a more accurate estimate, based on your specific situation and the rates in your area.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
so closing costs, check. Closing date, check. Anything else we need to know before we officially submit that offer?
Well, there are a few things that you can do
Okay,
to sweeten the deal, to make your offer a little bit more attractive to the seller.
I like it.
We've talked about including a personal letter,
Yeah,
expressing your genuine interest in the property.
the love letter to the house.
That's right, the love letter.
Yeah.
Another thing that you might consider is, being flexible with the inclusions and exclusions.
Okay, right. Inclusions and
Go on.
exclusions. What were those again?
So inclusions are things that are included in the sale of the property, like appliances, light fixtures, or window coverings.
Right.
Exclusions are the things that the seller wants to keep and will remove before you take possession.
Okay.
So, if you're really attached to that funky retro fridge in the kitchen, you better make sure it's listed as an inclusion.
Right, or like the vintage chandelier.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the things you want to make sure.
Exactly. And sometimes being willing to compromise on those inclusions or exclusions can make your offer more appealing to the seller. So,
Right.
for example, if they're planning to take their beloved washer and dryer with them,
Yeah.
you could offer to purchase new ones for them.
Okay, so a little give and take.
Little give and take.
I like it. Compromise.
Okay. We've talked about so much. I know.
When it comes to making an offer, it's not just about the price. It's about strategy. It's about timing. It's about knowing the market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Communication is key
Right.
throughout this whole process.
Your agent is there for you.
Your agent is your advocate,
Right.
your negotiator, your trusted advisor. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
Express
Right.
your concerns and leverage their expertise.
It's like having a wingman, but for real estate.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
Oh,
Feeling really pumped,
good.
but I know there's still more.
There is.
Okay. What can we expect for part 3?
Well, we've laid the groundwork, but now it's time to roll up our sleeves and dive into the nitty-gritty of those negotiations.
Ooh.
Counter offers and all those final steps that lead up to, getting the keys to your new home.
I can't wait. It's like a real estate thriller.
It is.
I'm excited.
Me too.
We'll be back soon with the final part of this deep dive.
Happy house hunting.
Happy house hunting. All right, so we're back
We are back.
for the final part
The final chapter.
of our offer saga.
I like it.
So we've talked about so much already.
We have.
Budgets, pre-approval inspections.
We've laid all the groundwork.
Yeah.
Now it's time to talk about negotiations.
Ooh, the moment of truth.
Yes, the moment of truth.
Okay, so let's say we've submitted our offer.
Okay.
What happens next?
So hopefully you've got an amazing real estate agent
Yeah.
who's keeping you in the loop.
Right.
They're going to present your offer to the seller's agent,
Okay.
advocate for your interests, and then we wait.
We wait.
We wait for a response.
And that response could be?
It could be acceptance,
Okay.
a counteroffer,
Where-
or even a rejection.
Okay, so let's talk about the counteroffer.
All right, counteroffer.
Yeah, because that seems like a pretty common one.
It is very common.
Yeah.
So what that means is that the seller is interested, but they're not quite ready to say yes to all of the terms that you've proposed.
Okay.
So maybe they're looking for a higher price,
Right.
a different closing date, or some adjustments to the inclusions and exclusions.
It's not a no. It's just like, hey, let's keep chatting.
Exactly. Let's keep the conversation going.
Right.
Let's see if we can find some middle ground.
Find that compromise.
That compromise, exactly. And this is where your agent's negotiation skills really come into play.
Right. And it seems like in a market like the Peel region, things can get pretty competitive.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Things can get heated,
Yeah.
especially when you have multiple offers on the table.
So that's where you really want to have somebody like Laddie on your side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With all that experience, he knows how to stay cool under pressure,
Right.
and he's going to help you get the best possible outcome.
So what happens if you reach a standstill? Like, what if you just can't come to an agreement?
Well, there's always a possibility
Okay.
that the deal could fall through,
Right.
especially if neither side is willing to budge
Yeah.
on those non-negotiables. But, you know, a skilled negotiator
Right.
can often find some creative solutions or alternative options, you know, to bridge that gap.
So it's not always about like winning or losing. It's about finding something that everyone can
Absolutely.
be happy with.
Exactly.
Okay. So you've negotiated. You've come to an agreement.
Yes.
You're ready to make it official.
It's time to sign those documents.
Okay. So what does that look like?
So both parties sign the final agreement
Okay.
of purchase and sale.
Okay.
And then the lawyers take over,
Right.
making sure that all the legal and financial aspects are in order.
Okay. Are there any other people involved at this stage?
Well, if you're getting a mortgage,
Right.
the lender will be finalizing the loan documents
Okay.
and arranging for the funds to be transferred
On closing day.
on closing day. That's right.
Okay. So there's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts, but your agent will be there
Yeah.
every step of the way,
Yeah.
making sure everything stays on track.
It's like an orchestra.
It is like a perfectly orchestrated symphony.
Yeah. And then the best part?
And then you get the keys.
You get the keys to your new home.
Yes, that's the grand finale.
That's like reaching the top of a mountain.
It is such a great feeling.
I love it.
And we're here to help you get there.
Exactly. And speaking of help, let's give one more shout out to Laddie Dillon and his team.
Absolutely.
If you are buying or selling in the Peel region, these are the people that you want on your side.
For sure.
They have the experience, the expertise, and honestly, just the passion
Yeah,
to help make your real estate dreams a reality.
that's right.
So if you're ready to make your move in the Peel region, give Laddie a call at 905-598-0725.
Tell him we sent you.
Yes, from the deep dive.
That's right.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our deep dive into making an offer on a house.
Wow.
We hope you enjoyed the journey.
I hope you learned something.
Yes, and that you're feeling empowered and ready to tackle this whole process.
That's right. Knowledge is power.
Exactly. Now you're ready to go forth and conquer.
You got this.
Yes, happy house hunting.
Happy house hunting.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We will be back with something new and something interesting.